Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Right here, we're tearing back into our, I think the math came out to like a 17, I thought it was a 1776, it's like a 1750, 49? I don't know, it's different. 87 millimeter piston cylinders and stroker crank. I forgot what the stroke size was, but whatever converts to that. But anywho's and ways, we're back on this. If you watched episode 1, there was a debacle on getting parts. But with that said, parts are in. I'm going to start gripping and ripping on it, or we're going to start gripping and ripping on this, and getting it, back together and running for this revival. The car's been here way too long. It's been here for about a month now, and that was just sheerly waiting on parts. Not something I like to do to people. Luckily, I've been able to have a good customer, number one, understanding, and number two, keep other people coming in and out. It wasn't tying me up too bad. I mean, it is, but it's not. With that said, let me dig out the pistons and cylinders, and we'll start at the bottom, work our way up, start building out this engine, popping off pistons, so on and so forth. Got new, like I said, new piston cylinders. Oh, and I did say I do have new heads. I'll show you why when we get to that point. I am eating the cost of the heads because I should have caught this engine needed new heads, and I did not. So rather than upselling the customer, I usually stick to my bid, and I'm going to eat the cost of 2 new cylinder heads. Completely fine with it, actually. But with that said, give me a second. Let me get some repositioning, and we'll start tearing this thing down. All right, guys, first we're going to start with getting these pistons out of here. Yeah. Oh, put these aside. All right, yeah, first we're going to start with getting the pistons removed and replacing them. This engine does have Teflon buttons instead of the snap rings. The easiest way I have found to remove them. Well, okay. That is a really loose conrod. Usually I drill them, but, well, if it wants to slide out, who am I to stop it? Yeah, now my finger's stuck. Yeah, typically these are a little bit of a tighter fit inside this bearing or bushing, what have you. Not a big deal. But normally I use a screwdriver and screw them out. Are they all like that? No, of course not. The first one I was going to show how to remove a button. Well, it slid out. Okay, now apparently the second easiest way I found to remove said buttons is just take a screw, aim somewhere in the center. As long as you're not reusing the buttons, I have new ones. Just take that, and then you can get a socket or extension or whatever you want. And a hammer, and you can just tap them out. Like so. These pistons are really in good condition. Like no scoring nowhere. I mean, you can see where it's sat and rusted. If the cylinders weren't so screwed up, I would have, this one's, no, it's free. Nope, it's stuck. Again, scoring, you can tell it's the bottom. Ring stick when they sit down. But with that said, just going to remove them. Yeah, all these rings are stuck. Usually they're supposed to be sprung out. You can see the oil ring sprung. That ring isn't. Not a big deal. I'm actually just looking for the ring split. There's one. Doesn't matter. All right, that's two. Rotate this engine some. Pop out the other two. As long as you're careful, you don't gotta really support the rod. You're not gonna do anything. As long as you're careful. Well, seeing how the one button cooperates so easily, we just blow these both out. Yeah. I will say this is probably the easiest engine I've had to disassemble. Camera save. I don't know if you can see in there. Bunch of rust buildup. Just from, if you remember all that goop that was in 3 when I just pulled out, well, it found its way behind the piston as well. Not bad. It's not in the actual bore, like down. So not concerned. I'm sticking to it. This is the easiest disassembling engine I've done in a while. Usually they fight a lot harder. And like I said, I do have new Teflon buttons. We're not going to reuse those. Stuck ring. They're all stuck. It wouldn't matter if this thing wasn't froze. I guarantee they would have came around. Sitting's bad, but you know they usually wake up with a little compression. All right. With that, let me clean some bores. Just wipe down. So we're gonna put on cylinder shims. This thing came because I'm assuming the stroker crank. We have shim packs, so we got these that go in the head, and we got these that go in the base of the barrel. So just give a clearance, or they're either doing for clearance or compression ratio. My Gia, like I said, I refer to it as a 1905 instead of a 1904 because I have spacers under my head just to lower the compression ratio due to the fact that I want to run boost one day in that car. So preemptively built or installed. I don't know if that's why this is like that, but that's what I'm going with. Compression ratio, most likely. Or for all I know, is hitting head. Valve. Or head. Stroke could be too big for the piston or the cylinders. Anyway, let me just clean it. I'll be right back. Guys. First thing we're going to do is throw these pistons in. I'm curious how well this wrist pin slides compared to the other one. Oh, nicely. That's good. I'll just set that there. Pull out the new piston. Those TEF buttons replace these things, which would be holding that wrist pin in place. So I'm going to save those. Also, when you install pistons, they all, where the hell is it? They all have an arrow or some kind of marking. I don't know if you'll see it on this, but there's an arrow. The arrow points towards flywheel. Like even on the ones we pulled out. Where would it be? Is it hidden under that? We got 4 to choose from. I'm pretty sure I saw one on here. Huh, maybe I didn't. Weird. I've never seen pistons without a directional mark. Yeah. I didn't pay attention. I'll go through the footage. Yeah, these don't have arrows. They have a little cut in them. All of them. I'm just going to assume that that was point towards flywheel. But there is an indicator on pistons. I'm pretty sure that's what that notch is for. I haven't put those style in a while. But there is an indicator. You want to put them to index them that way to the flywheel. If you don't, well, pistons are... Think of the piston, you know. While I have them, I could show you. I'll just show you. If you measure, little nerd science for you. If you measure, that's actually not on center. It's a little bit, well, depending which way I'm holding it, higher, a little bit lower, so that when that rod comes around, it doesn't, you know, if it's dead center, it would lock up. Old, I don't know, power racing trick. If you don't care about the longevity of your engine, flip your pistons over. You get a little more torque. Less longevity, but a little more torque. So if you have the arrows pointing the opposite way. Don't recommend it. You do make a bit more power that way. Kind of makes it into a faux stroker, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the science behind it, but I know people do it. Or someone just lied to me for years. All right. Glue. My favorite. Red RTV. And it's the easy disassembly style, so it's actually not as aggressive if you want to take them apart again, because, well, everyone hates RTV. It's the Bondo of the automotive, say, technician land. It has a bad name. Used correctly, it's not terrible, but more so than not, it's always used incorrectly. Where did my... Is that a full can? It's a good enough can. Oh, it's literally right there. But I just want to make sure that if there is any oil, most likely there might be, just because shipping, get it off. You want a clean, you know, mating surface. All right. And the RTV. This is going to be a weird two-step process, because I'm going to put some on, which will basically seal the barrel on. And I know guys use whatever, you know, some people use black, gray. It's whatever flavor you want. All right, and then you take your spacer ring, boop, put that over, and then I like to do another goop, just to make sure this is all going to be sealed when we actually install it. Again, doesn't have to be crazy, doesn't have to be much, it just has to be on in there. All right. So with that like that, grab your adjustment tool, and you're gonna pop this piston out. You want to be careful doing this. Slide it out just far enough so that you can get to your pin. Because if you go too far, well, guess what? You screwed up, and you're going to have to reset everything. Gently put that there. Get everything aligned. Might need some gentle persuasion just to get it, you know, squared up and in. And there we go. Nice gentle taps. New buttons. If you are going to use buttons, the reason I'm using them as well as this engine had them, and I do actually like them. Especially if you have a performance engine, high revving. I've had those springs, those little C-clips, whatever you want to call them, come out before. So all you do, installation is the same as like uninstallation, what have you. Just boop, boop, put them in, and you're done. Also, before they fall off, make sure you get the buttons that correspond with the pistons you're putting into the car, because they're all going to be different sizes, different, you know, thicknesses to work with your cylinders. All right, once you get all that done, you're gonna get everything aligned and slide this whole shoot match into the engine. Down, glued. Man, with that much room at the top, I'm really shocked that it has that much of a shimmage going on. Where's the old pistons or cylinders? Oh. Yeah, it's about the same burn ring. Just looking at, say, the combustion line of how much stick out would have been in there. I don't know where a damn flashlight is. There's a good spot. That rust ridge, it's going to be hard for me to focus on. But the darker spot compared to the lighter spot, that would be the, say, combustion area. It's about the same, just eyeballing it. Also, I don't know if the cylinder was TDC'd or not. One of them was, but they're all similar as far as where it would be that dark ring. That would be the, you know, how far the TDC of that cylinder. So I'm not really sure why we have so many cylinder shims on here other than just dropping compression. Let's see, which one are you? Do this side, so that would be this piston. Yes. All right. So it's going to be the same process through all the cylinders. Rinse and repeat, get them glued, stick them on, roll them, you know, I'm doing the back two first, then I'll roll the engine, and I do the front two. So give me a second, I'll be right back. Let me get these all installed, and if developments happen, as always, I will chime in. But I'm hoping this is just going to be fairly painless and straightforward. Remember to get those clips out of there. We do not want them in the engine. So, all right, give me a second, I'll be back. Or second for you, a couple of minutes for me. All right, cylinders are on. One thing I do want to show is your air deflection tins. They just clip on, these things. You got, I think, two different styles. You got this style, and then you got another one that just not as complicated. I've seen two different ones is what I'm getting at. Don't ask me where, why, or how, or what they're used on, but like I said, I've seen two different styles. But anyway, what I'm getting at, they snap on. What I do, and I know a lot of people do it, does it help? I have no freaking idea. Does it hurt? No. Get yourself some safety wire. 1 second. Anywho, I got cats all over this place. I'm not a cat fan. Just get yourself some basically safety wire. What you're gonna do, if you have this style, just run up through both I go through the center, like so. Come on. Reinstall it, like so. Just get it to the top. And all this is going to do is, all the safety wire does is just that. It prevents that thing from dropping. Like I said, do they drop? I would say very rarely. But this just prevents it from falling down onto your push rod tubes. That is a terrible twist. You guys can go to Harbor Freight and get yourself some nice sets of safety wire pliers for like next to nothing. I've tied way too much in my aviation days. But yeah, that just prevents it from going anywhere. If you guys do safety wire, make sure you freaking wrap the end over on itself, so it's not a cut point. It could be tighter, but I don't care. All right, next, let me get some push rod tubes set up and the cylinder heads, and we'll put that all together. Cylinder head time. Like I said, this is a brand new, out of the box unit. First thing, because like I said, it has stupid low compression. It has these cylinder head shims. Make sure we put those in. Again, I don't know why we have low compression on this engine, but it's just the way that it's set up, so that's the way we are putting it back together. Do I feel it needs it? Nope. All right, now with that floating, what I'm going to do, and you can argue again in the comments with the way I do things, I do use RTV again on these push rod rubbers because I don't like engines to leak. But I would say prematurely. And again, it's not much, it's just enough. And again, I say this all the times I build these engines or go through this, buy new tubes. They're like 12 bucks. All right. Get that in place. And just slide your push rod in, and it'll hold it up. That tin was a little low. There we go. And just work your way down the line. Again, you don't have to do this. You could also use whatever goop you want to use if you do want to goop it. But throw that in. Grab the push rod. Throw the push rod in. And what the push rod's doing is just letting it be able to float or hang. So you're not trying to hold 4 at once and putting it in. This is, I think I've said this in other videos, this is exactly how like McLaren and Ferrari build their engines. Same conditions. Those clean showrooms are just that. Show or assembly areas, what have you. It's just built in a shed. There we go, last one. Let's get it where it wants to be. That. Let's slide this up. All right, now with those slid up, now you can hold your hand up and start positioning these damn things. And just work it back. Come on. All right, when you have them pretty much seated where they need to go, washers, hardware, we're just going to do a loose or a gentle suck in to seat them, because I do expand those things some. So washers, well, we can't use a washer there. You're basically, I'm not gonna torque it. I'm just gonna run it down so that everything seats the way I need it to. Well, I wasn't on my impact. It was on my impact. Impact's over here. Nope, impact's not over there. Impact's over, that's a 13. Well, where in the hell? Oh, it's right here. Yeah, gently. Drawing it in. If it seems like it has a lot of resistance, stop, obviously, but just, work it around. Extension. Make sure your tubes are where they need to be, nice and aligned. And I don't know if you can see, but it's just, all I'm doing is just gently sucking the cylinder head in. It's fighting against, well, the resistance, say, of the push rod tubes right now being expanded. No weird torque, sequence or anything like that. It's just going in. It's a dance. Loosen, tighten, loosen, tighten, loosen, tighten, loosen, tighten. Come on, fat fingers. Back it off. Give me a little more threads. Just wanting to be there. Okay. All right. Those are in. Push rod tubes look okay. Push rod tubes back there look okay. Push rod tubes look okay. All right. Torque this thing, actually, instead of just hitting with the impact gun. Now you guys can torque your things however you want to torque your things. And what I mean by that is feel free to check the torque specs and don't rely on me or my patterns. It's an escalating torque. I started, I don't know, at like 15, and I'm gonna do my final torque set after. Gonna give a couple seconds to basically in there, and then be back and torque this thing down. But while I'm waiting on this side, let me get the other side caught up. On this side, let's spin this thing back around. Let's go back to this one. See how loose it actually got. I'm still at the same setting I was. Nope, didn't move. Oop, that moved a little. Okay, going up to final torque. I think it's like 18 to 20 or something like that on an 8 stud. That was way high. Like that felt like a lot more turning power than what I normally use. Yeah, there we go. How did this get tighter? Oh, backed it off to where I was. I'm a derp. There you go. Feels like it's fatigued. I'm leaving it alone. I'm leaving it alone. It's fine. If we have an issue out of it, I'm going to stand by it and I'll fix it. But yeah, that one's just acting a little funky. Actually, I think I'm done for today on this, just because I need to, well, I completely forgot to clean up these rockers. That's on me. So let me get these things cleaned up, make them look brand new, and, well, we'll install these, because we can't put this was this side. We can't put these on. So developments have always, like I said, it's been about a month since the last time I've worked on this engine. So I kind of like put stuff, you know, my fault, on the back burner. And well, now the back burner's turning into the front burner. And well, that simmer's got to come up to a boil real quick to get this thing done. Not saying rushing, but you know, time, main priority focus right now to do this. So yeah, let me get these rocker shafts cleaned up, and then I guess I'll get back to you. Most likely tomorrow. Not that it matters to you, but it'll probably be tomorrow. All right, guys, I'm back. It's been a few days, but everything is on. Let's get some rockers on this thing. Also, I must have been in my own head with that, with the stud on the other side. Broke out the other torque wrench. I think I did it off camera. Oh, go back under my shirt. But the torque's checked out right. Like I said, it's been a couple days. Obviously, I'm still in my own head, but 20 foot-pounds. Torque is like 8, and it's completely fine now. I don't know what was going on with that. But digressing, regressing, let's get some rockers on this thing. Old heads. Because these things have the swivel feet. Well, let me load that radio. All right, old heads because they have the, you have pedestal shafts, like shims. They come with it. We're going to use them. Also, is this a bad head? No, this one's a decent head. One head was, when I was cleaning them up, one head was good, one head was bad. And hence the reason we have two new on here. Heads. Because if you're going to replace one, might as well replace both. Like I said, I'm eating the cost of them, so I just want it to be, you know, obviously good. After all, I am putting a warranty on this engine. So if it's crap, it's crap. All right. Well, why don't these slide down? Are the studs too big? What is going on? They shouldn't be. Those slide down. These shims slide. The other shims do not slide. I don't think I have any more. It's not really something I stock. Someone just make this one? Oh, there we go. I don't know what the hell that was about. They're the same shims. All right, shims are on. Next, rocker shaft. Like I said, you gotta, if you buy the swivel feet, the ball, the rollers, what have you, they come with those shims. You have to put them in place. These are stock arms that just had these feetsies converted to them. They're not anything, you know, crazy. They're not like a ratio or anything like that. And one way you can tell is typically a ratio rocker is stamped somewhere on it, saying, you know, whatever, 4 to 1, 1 to whatever to 1. Numbers to 1 is, I guess, what I'm getting at. Other way, well, this one, well, this doesn't go here, this goes here. Yeah, they be stamped. The other thing is ratio rockers. I don't think I've ever, and I'm not going to say they don't exist, but I have never seen a ratio rocker with a Volkswagen logo on it. Typically, people just get the swivel feet for these things. Let's see. Run this down. Tight, and we'll go back and torque it. You can do what you want, back them off, so on and so forth, you know, run them on by hand, but, or you can back these adjusters off if you don't think that you're going to have problems with it seating. Just got a torque. I think they torqued at like 18. Just go at 20 because it's easy. Easy math. torque. Go a little over, not really going to hurt it. It's not, these aren't complete science. These are chrome moly push rods, so you're going to want to set them up for basically zero lash. There's a massive gap. I am TDC 1. We'll run them in a second. Yeah, you want to dial in the spacing. Why the hell is it so huge? Because you figure we didn't do anything as far as maybe the barrels are slight. No, we measured the barrels. The barrels are the same. Everything's the same. I don't know why it's so huge. But yeah, these would have been, say, in adjustment. I don't know. We'll get it. We'll get it to zero lash. That's not a big deal. Okay, the second one, or other side. See how swivel pad swivels? And swivel pad swivels. Still a little bit of rust around these threads up here. Not really too concerned. Let me get it bolted on and we'll try to adjust them. But this, and they all, everything moves. So the pillow blocks, whatever you want to call them, they move. Free, all the rockers move. If this thing wasn't going to unlock, I actually have these exact same rockers. By that I mean the stamping, these are like 17 threes, and this is what I'm talking about, the VW logo. I just went through my stock. I have the same rockers, so if we have an issue with these, I will swap them out, kind of thing. So, same thing on this side. Oh, we need the shims. Yeah, off the other head. This is what I was talking about. Ugh. This is the reason this engine is getting 2 new heads. I was cleaning them up and blasting them. The intake, I don't know how well you can see in there, is just chewed up from having water. Now, yes, I could have got another intake. Wow, you are tight. Yes, I could have got another intake valve installed, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, I'd be doing intake, well, new valves. Basically, I would be rebuilding the head, yes, obviously. But it would be intake valve, basically all the valves, seats would get installed. There it is. Yeah, I'd be putting in all new valve seats, all new valve guides. Sorry, I can't think at the same time. Yeah, I'd be getting these heads would be getting seats, I'd be getting guides, cleaned up, maybe a little spot machining while it's in there. By the end of the day, for me to get one of those heads rebuilt, it is just cheaper for me to get 2 new heads. Hopefully that makes sense. Cost per dollar per operation kind of thing. I mean, a new head, these weren't, now if they were, say, specialty heads, big bore heads or something like that, these had stock valves in it. They weren't anything special. They weren't like big bore, big flow. They're just stock. If there were anything special, I would be, obviously, probably it'd be cheaper to rebuild them. But see, now they're stock heads, you get a stock head for next to nothing. They're like $250 or something like that. I mean, may not be nothing to some people, but in the getting it working kind of time frame or mentality, a lot easier just to go this way with it. Like I say this in all my videos, I don't, when I do things, I don't try to nickel and dime everybody. I make a price, and yeah, unseen things. Could I have said, hey, your heads are shot, you need 2 new heads? Of course, it would have been justified. But also, I should have I guess in my opinion, I should have put it in the quote as potentially needing, and just not used it if they were fine. So I really don't, especially a hit like that. I'm not saying that the owner wouldn't want to, you know, take that hit, but he might not want to take that hit. All right, let's just get this thing quickly adjusted. Like I said, it's a chromoly engine or pushrod engine, so everything is basically zero lash. No need to go nuts, no need to overthink it. And when I mean zero, it's basically make it touch the top of the valve, snug it down. I like to have just a little bit of wiggle in there. You still want to be able to spin your push rod so you know it's not too tight. But yeah, you don't have to worry about, there we go. You don't have to worry so much about the gap. If these were aluminum push rods, then yeah, you would be, you would need to set them to whatever, 6 thou, 4 thou, whatever flavor you want to set them to. Yeah, just a little, I just want to hear, personally, just a little bit of tapping, so I know that they're not too tight, but also not too loose. Now, typically, I skip them, so it would be cylinder 1, intake 2, exhaust 4, and then do a 180 rollover, and then it'd be exhaust 2, cylinder 3, and then intake 4. But seeing how I'm not sure what cam it is, I don't know the duration, I don't know the lobes, you know, there's a lot of unknown with this. I am just going to do it normally and just roll this over. So that'd be 1, should be 4 when I come to BDC. Oh yeah, the clutch is loose back there. Should be cylinder 4 right now. Yep. We'll adjust this one accordingly. And we'll just, oh, that was tight. Work our way around. Tight. Perfect. All right, those are all good. Yeah, like I said, just want to put a little bit of lube on these so that it'll work free. But they're working, they're operating, everything like that. All right. Clutch. Already loosened her up. We're replacing it, but the clutch looks actually really good. I don't know how many miles are on it, but nothing too worn. Made in Japan. And same thing with this guy. Stage 1. I'm gonna have to order, is it a Kennedy probably? Yeah, Kennedy. Stage 1 clutch. I'll probably order another stage 1. All in here looks fine, nothing out of the ordinary. Clean that up. Not too hot spotted, no ridge. That looks great. Let me blow this off because we got to change the rear main. I always change the rear main if the engine's out. It's just, I don't know, cheap insurance. You guys can argue if you want, but I don't know what good that'll do you. All right, guys, I have stuff. Also had to order parts because I just noticed something. The valve covers, I ordered new valve covers because the ones Well, the ones he has, I'm not running. They're still the ones that came on the engine are factory. These, one good check to see if your valve covers are going to seal or not. Take your gasket off and just place it on. If you don't get any rocky, well, you're fine. Right now, it's not sealing flat because it's sitting on the rockers. So I don't know if he's always had a clearance issue or these heads might be machined wrong, but if I put the gasket on, it'll sit flush. I don't want to run them, excuse me. I don't want to run them knowing that the gasket is what's giving it its thing, spacing. So with that said, I literally just ordered 2 new valve covers, just the aluminum bolt-on style. They'll clear the rockers, not have an issue. Now, when you're removing these, gently. You don't want to pry too hard because you don't want to break your case. Lightly put your gland nut back in. There you go. So it doesn't, shoot off and hit the floor. You should have plenty of room with like 2 threads on it, 3 threads to, get it out. Flywheel, let's pull the rear main. Rear main looks good. It's not all, I had a screwdriver. It's not all out. All you want to do is get your screwdriver in. Don't go too deep because you don't want to gouge the case. And just get it on. Yeah, a little bit of flickage. Where's my other screwdriver? I have one bent for this. Works better. Yeah, you don't want to go all the way in. Just basically you can catch the seal, pop it out. But yeah, the key is do not gouge this case. You do not want to create a leak or, anything major. I think I have a rear main in this box. I do. I say this in my videos, you don't have to, but I do. I just get some, whatever grease I have laying around and I lube the seal. Nothing heavy, just a thin coat. Mainly dry startup, so on and so forth. I don't know. It's one of those things where I've always done it. I don't know if it actually does anything or not, but I feel better about having it on there. Place your seal. Get the biggest hammer you own. Set it. And gently smack it in. All you're wanting to do, when you put it in, make sure it's going in flush. And it's even all the way around. You don't need to spend money on a seal driver. It's one of those things, the seal's big enough that you shouldn't have an issue with it. If you want to get a seal driver, by all means, get a seal driver. Oh, last thing is there is an O-ring. If you ever wonder what the hell the O-ring is in these seal kits, it goes in the flywheel. Let's see if I can find it. I see it. Yeah, when you get one of these, complete gasket kits, and you see this, I can see it, so I'm just going to rip it out. Get out of here. This big ring, that is for the back of your flywheel. I do know, and I have been guilty of this in the past, of not changing this thing out because it's like what I didn't feel it actually did anything at the time. I was wrong. I ended up doing a rear main because the rear main was leaking. All you do, get in there with a pick, pull the old one out. The rear main was leaking. Put a rear main in without thinking. Didn't put this guy in. Put everything back together, and wouldn't you know, the damn thing leaked again. So I had to do it again, just a little bit of grease. On that seal. Yeah, so out came the engine, pulled the flywheel off, looked at it, rear main looked well like it was leaking, replaced the rear main again, and then looked at the flywheel. It's like, shit, yep. Didn't replace this. This was the reason I pulled an engine for a second time, and I was not happy. No. Chair. What am I missing? Everyone but one. Which one's the weird one? That might be a better question for me. All right, right there. Those two are real close together. So it would be this, like this. Whoop. That's great. Come on. Stay. Rubber mallet. Yeah, make sure you line these things up before you just commit. Do not draw it in by the gland nut. Make sure you're in. I'm almost flush. Because the last thing you want to do is, crack your block or crack your crank, strip your crank, not crack your crank. I mean, I'm sure you could, but even if it is slightly out of flush, it's fine. Tighten the crap out of it. Tight. Look, I don't want to hear it. That works just fine. I've never had a flywheel come loose. I've never had one fall off, knock on wood. So, still got to run and grab a clutch. Next, stop spinning. Next, let's do this oil cooler seal. Is our we under here? 13's on this one? Yes, and yes. All right, oil cooler seal, simple. I don't want to hear it. I know where all my stuff is, just not at this current moment in time. And those are tight. There we go. They look like they're Tef nuts too. Oil cooler's off from the block. Next thing we got to do is separate it. You got 310s. Beep, boop, boop. Zip them off. I'm not reusing this hardware. So zip those 3 off, and then you should be able to separate your oil cooler. Oh, man, that is on there. Screwdriver. There we go. Little stiction. Separate your oil cooler from your adapter housing. And what you're after are the seals. These dudes, they don't feel too bad, but pull them out. Now in your pack, you have multiple seals for different engines, variants, so on and so forth. What you're going to do is just compare whatever seal you put out to whatever new seal you're going to run. Make sure they're the same. Typically, not all the time, when you have the doghouse oil cooler, you have 4 of the exact same seals. Those would be the ones you would be using. There are differences if you have a, well, non-doghouse block. You would be running, they make adapters that go in the block because the seals aren't the same. 2 different sizes. Put that bracket back on. Gets rid of the washer and acts like a lock nut. Kind of why I say this in all my videos. Kind of why I replace them with everything. Zip these back on. You don't want to go nuts. You want them to seal, obviously, but you don't need to, like, you know, send them to the moon. Same thing on the block. Block, again, compare what you had, depending what side it got stuck in, what was in there. Pop it. Again, if you're digging around, make sure you don't gack the sealing surface. Set them down. And then for the top one, I'm going to put a flange nut on. Snug that. That's down, and we'll check the torque on that. Usually I tighten the top, the front 2 first, and then the back one. I don't think it freaking matters, but to me, it makes me feel better. I'll just double check that these are tight. And they're not. There we go. Oh. Snug. Snug. Anyway, that's on. Oil cooler. What else we got for this thing? The valve covers aren't going to stop me. I'll run them. But when the new ones come in, I will replace them. All right, let's see. Next. That's all good, that's all good, that's all good. Guess we could start putting the tins on. Like I said, I got to run and get the clutch. Whenever I get a clutch, I'll probably just throw it on there. Not a big deal. Oh, that rolls good. All right, I guess we could put the tins on. Everything else up here is buttoned up. I'll work on a bunch of other stuff in a minute. Get my, let's see, engine tin. Yeah, let's start putting this thing together. Clean it up some. I think the owner said this is Subaru blue. That World Rally blue, whatever. I dig it. The only thing he didn't dig was the fan shroud. Because I can't remember if he said it was blue and then like his father-in-law or something like that painted it. Or not painted it. It was painted. I think he said it was painted blue. And then somehow it ended up being chrome. So I did the right thing, you know, after talking to him, of course. And now it's black. Oh man, they painted the underside too. That's actually, I like that. I dig it. Engine tin on. Boop. Why are we sitting funny? I mean, we are, but we're not. Where are these intakes? I gotta go through and clean these. I'll probably end up. Make sure they're gonna fit. And of course they hit. Like I said, I'm not a fan of beating the crap out of tins. But some, I mean, I could tell these were massaged already. I might have to massage them more. But I say in all my videos, double check that your intakes, oh, weird machining, go in, no problem, before you have a problem. Because this is hitting the tin. And that slides down fine. Is there a left and a right side? And you might laugh at me because there shouldn't be, but one, I have cleaned up a side before, just to gain clearance. All right, look at the other engine tin. Oh, there's a run. Kidding. Well, not kidding about the run, but the tisk. Let me get some hardware in this. Well, I had that 10, and now I lost that 10. We're doing good. Again, new hardware. All right, this is, I don't know which side this was. Does it fit better now? Now, see this corner is hitting the 10, not a big deal. And same thing here. So, let me do a little bit of massaging, and we'll get these tins where they need to be. A lot of spring up in these. All right, didn't change the battery, but I did clearance them. The only thing, okay, put it this way. We're not putting these on yet, just due to the fact that if you have dual carbs, you can't get the dual carbs into your car if they're on your car. with the exception of like a fuel-injected Beetle. And that's if like a Weber 34 or something like that, you typically have a little more overhang and leeway, just because the shrouds, the rear is a little bit wider. But that would be really the only way you can put dual carbs on a car or on an engine and slide the whole shooting match in the car. Hell, even my Gia, I couldn't do it. It's just the way they're designed, guys. Pretty much, if anything overhangs, easiest way to know put it this way. Easiest way to know if you can put your entire engine in assembled would be just look at your engine tins. Like I said, fuel injected, come out some more. But if anything overhangs your engine tin like that, you're gonna hit, because these pretty much seal exactly to the body. Like I said, you can maybe leave them loose and suck it in that way, but I'll just put them in after. But as you can see, drops down, sits flush, and the other one, still gotta clean this one up. Same thing. This one's just a little tighter, but drops down, sits flush. So, not worried about putting these things in. All right. All right, rear tin. Don't need the fuel line. We're gonna make a new one. I like that they use fuel injector clamps. So this, that's also cut. There's no flange on that side. Okay. That's cool, I guess. All right. Change the battery, I'll be right back. I can just throw this on, 2 screws. I had a phone call, and I was still working. Did throw the mufflers on, not a big deal. New gaskets, obviously, on the backside as well. Last thing we have to do, pretty much before we shove this thing into the car, is put the fan shroud back on it. I got a mosquito flying around, because everything else I'll do in the car, as far as the carburetors, relocate a coil, because I think the coil originally lived down here. Speaking of which, that bolt is backed off. Let me get it back on. So yeah, I think the coil did live down there. It's been a minute since I worked on this thing. There. Tight. All right, so that's fixed. But yeah, distributor I'm gonna re-gut into the car. It has an old Pictronics on it. It's a little frayed on the wiring. We'll replace that. But let me get the doghouse or the fan shroud on, move that out of the way. And we'll just plop that on. Because he didn't like the chrome, and I don't blame him. There we go. A fan shroud. Plus the old one was rusty. Or this is the old one, but it was showing rust and stuff like that. Go back to the teardown video. Let me get the hardware for that. Or new hardware for that. Tight. Tight. This thing's just a little bit of a pain in the butt, because it's overlapping where the muffler would be. It's not a big deal. I just got to be wary of it whenever I put the muffler on. I may actually trim it back some. I don't know if it originally had that weird fit or not, but it does now. Still good and seated. Still good and seated. Yeah. It's just tight going right into the top. I might massage it just a little bit more. But, all right. Oh, rear things. These are still chrome. You don't see them. Do I have a better washer? Just going to put a big fender washer on here so it stops falling through that hole. Like so. Then I can secure the backside. There we go. New filter on there. It's a lot smaller than one he ran, but the same. He ran a male filter. Should be empty. Usually it's a little shorter. If I have to go with a shorter style, I'll go with a shorter style. But I kept this one just in case I had to do an interchange. But typically, the Wix XP is everything I run. If it was a Fran, maybe what, HP1 or something like that. But digressing, regressing. This thing's ready to go in the car. A few things I have left to do is I do have to get a new belt for this thing. I have not got one yet. And like I said, I'm going to remount the coil, probably up here somewhere like I typically do, just to get it out of the freaking way. Because I don't like when they live in the bowels of the engine. I got to put the generator strap back on. I pulled that off to paint this thing. But other than that, we're ready to put this thing in the car. Alternator sounds good. It's not hitting. Is there crap in there? Yep, sure is. When you're doing stuff, just double check you get all any things out. You know, nothing's better than having a fresh rebuild and having crap in there. All right, guys, I don't know where I am pretty much in the video, but the engine is built out. Mainly because I've been jumping around, waiting on parts, so on and so forth. But engine's built out, heater box is on, new clutch installed, alternator, fan shroud, stuff's tight, engine's adjusted, spark plugs are in. I think I went into a spark plug rant that I don't know if I put in this or not, but I had questions on these NGK plugs, just on what I got them. Some seem counterfeit, if you didn't know, or if I didn't say, if I didn't leave it in the video because it was kind of a stupid rant on my behalf. They just look funky. I went to O'Reilly's, got new ones out of a full box versus these because they look like they've been hanging around for a while. But with that said, plugs are in. Everything else that we're going to do to the engine to outfit it, as far as rotor, distributor, wires, you know, the full rest of the build out on this, we're going to do it in the car. Just because, well, to me, it's going to be easy. So let's get this thing in the car, and I'll probably close out the episode after this one. Just because it is probably running long. I don't know how I'm editing it. I don't know if I'm doing the pull and tear down yet in this video. Well, the pull, the tear down, and the rebuild, and the install just in this video, or I don't know what I'm doing yet. But let's get this thing back in. Anything under here that I forgot? This is the first time in, well, quite a bit. This thing has been up on the rack over a month, just because waiting on things. I think everything's good. We're gonna replace brake lines in another episode for back here. I think that's really like the main gist of everything. I've never thrown power to this car yet, so I still don't know what it's going to do. No access holes. I didn't know if we had access holes. But let me blow off these wheels. Shove this engine real quick. Be right back. Get this thing in here. Hopefully it wants to cooperate and go easy. Probably not. Well, so let's bring the car up some more, apparently. Why does it seem like the engine grew? Anywho's. Roll it under. Let's see how, hopefully, painless this goes. Good enough. Pull that nut because I think it got in the way on this one. Actually, I'm not sure. I just typically pull them anyway. Yeah, good enough. All right. Back a little. Generator, alternator, nadir. So want to be careful on that seal. You don't want to rip it. Once you clear that, and you usually just drop it. Yep, boop. Cleared. Flashlight, beep. Show me what I'm doing. All right, I got some down. Almost at the input shaft of the transmission. Right about there. Hopefully I can get a little bit forward to clear that. The idler pulley for that thing, serpentine system, is real close. Okay, that's looking good. Where are we as far as holes go? Still got a ways to go. And by that, not that terribly far. The crunching means it's working. All right, roll her back a little bit. Got about another inch. That's pretty dang close. Where are we at? That side should be about in. Other flashlight. That one should be about where it wants to go. Yivers. That's just a matter of wiggling and jiggling it into its home. Oh, I have a screw there. That's actually very convenient. I was like, hey, you can't tell. My flashlight, I don't know if you could tell, stuck to that. I just so happened to put it in the right spot where a screw is. Ooh, burpage. So that's pretty nice. So get a little bit of an up. Hopefully. Gonna cooperate with me the rest of the way. That feels like it's in. let go of everything. Yeah, I'd say that is in. All right, what do I need? Well, I'm over here. Side in two. Should be. If one's in, typically the other one's in. Yep, that one's flush. Okay, dokes. Going up. Is that aluminum? Yep. Yep, it is. Going ups. Take that. Okie dokie. Get this top bolt. Come down a little bit more. I'm gonna have to double check my footage because, like I said, it's been about a month since I pulled this engine out. But I'm gonna double check the footage to see if this car ever had that top bolt in there. If not, it might not get one. If it did, well, it's definitely going to get one. I also don't know where any of my hardware is for this car. Well, where the hardware is, or where these engine bolts are, a bolt isn't, I guess is what I'm getting at. Yeah, I'll just... After this is snug, go under, and we'll get the tighten the other two again. Just double check that they're tight, because sometimes, like I said, I've had them loosen when the top gets snugged in, the bottom might sink back some more. That boss, I'm not sure if it even looks like it had a clutch feels all right. Adjustment wise, yeah, that boss doesn't look like it had a bolt in it, but I could be wrong. Want to be the first or last time on that. Oh yeah, what was it doing? Tightening things. Just double checking to make sure that these guys are tight. Like I said, I've had these engines tighten up or swing and then they lose tightness. Still snuggish. Oh yeah. Snug. Good. That is on. All right. Man, why? I have not been getting lucky with like valve cover clearance. Did I pull the that one's good. The other side just looks super freaking close. No, optical illusion. For some reason, it looked like the bumper support bracket in the body was just super freaking close. I mean, it looks a little tweaked in, but nothing like, oh no. Well, this is up in my face. Dating this filter. I'll write the mileage of the car under it, but I at least want to know when this filter was installed. I know it sounds weird, but that's how I keep track of it. Yeah. All right. You can drop this thing. It's a quick day for me, really. Still waiting on parts. If you guys know, deliveries suck. Hold, please. All right, guys, closing out this video on the 73. Hopefully this episode was us tearing the engine out, rebuilding the engine, piston cylinders, cylinder heads, so on and so forth, and shoving this thing back in. Next episode, we'll get it running, only because I'm still, surprised, waiting on parts. It's a thing. But yeah, with that said, next episode, we'll hopefully get this thing all buttoned up, carburetors on, distributor, new electronics, so on and so forth, everything bolted up, and we'll hear this thing run. I am going to, I don't even know if it freaking works or not, but I also don't know if there's gas in this car. Got to drain the tank, and it does have an electric fuel pump on it. Going to replace that, just for S&Gs, if you will. But with that said, engines rebuilt, back in the car after a freaking month of sitting around because this is getting ridiculous with ordering parts. I don't know if you guys are having issues with it as much as I am, but my parts are still, the original order, are still sitting at the UPS hub here in Louisville. Yep, still stuck in customs. Anywho's and ways, if you like this episode, or whatever the heck it came out to, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you do. I promise you we will chit chat. As always, thanks for watching. Hopefully, see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.